Yo, what's good everyone? Hope y'all are doing good this fine afternoon or whenever y'all are watching. Today I'm going to show you how to instantly transform any dull clip with no energy into a clip with high energy, and that just looks absolutely crazy. This is how you're going to level up your videos. So before we get into it, thanks for the support. We just hit 1K. Y'all are crushing it. So keep abusing the shit out of the subscribe button and like this video if you mess with these kinds of effects. But let's not lose any more time. Let's get straight to it. So right here inside of Premiere Pro, I already have my footage lined up just like this. And the first thing that I'm going to do is come to the project panel. And if you guys don't know how to add an adjustment layer, basically just right click, new item, adjustment layer, and then you click OK. Make sure that it is the same settings as your comp. And just click OK and just drag that in. And this adjustment layer, we're going to make it 6 frames long for this transition. I usually find that 6 frames is pretty much the sweet spot with all of these transitions. So we're just going to make that 6 frames long and put that in between our clip right here. And now the first effect that we're going to add is going to be a brightness and contrast. So I'm just going to search up brightness and contrast and throw that onto the adjustment layer right here. And go to the effects controls now, and I'm going to go all the way to the beginning of the adjustment layer right here. And I'm going to keyframe the brightness and contrast at 0. By the way, if you guys want to speed up the whole process of making these kinds of flash transitions and energy effects and shakes inside of Premiere Pro and After Effects, I have 2 packs available on my website that are dedicated to only these kinds of effects. So go check them out if you want to speed up your workflow. I'm going to go 1 frame ahead and make the brightness something like 50 and the contrast something like 30. Go 1 frame ahead and bring this down to like 25 and the contrast to like 20. And then 1 frame ahead and bump that up to like 60 for the brightness and make the contrast something like 40. And then you're going to go 1 frame ahead again, make the brightness 80 and the contrast 60. And now you're going to go all the way to the end of the adjustment layer. So 2 frames back, or sorry, 2 frames forwards, and just reset everything. So now we have this kind of flickering effect going on. And now we're going to add transform, which is really going to seal the deal with this effect and make it look so much better. So we're going to come back to the effects and I'm going to search for transform. And I'm going to drag that onto the adjustment layer. And the first thing that we're going to do inside of transform is very important. Make sure you guys do this or the effect is not going to look proper. So what you want to do first is uncheck the use composition shutter angle box and make the shutter angle 180. Now what you want to do is keyframe the scale at 100 at the beginning on the first frame. And then you want to go 1 frame ahead and you're going to make the scale something like 125. And then you go 1 frame ahead, make that like, I don't know, 80. Go 1 frame ahead and make that 180. And then go another frame ahead, make that 150. And then you're gonna go 2 frames ahead and just reset the whole effect. So now, as you can see, we have this crazy zoom in while it's flashing and we get this whole kind of effect going on. If you guys wanna make the keyframes a bit smoother and not so choppy, like this is a bit too zoomed in, so we could try something like 140 and then make this one, let's say 115. And if we play this back, it should look a bit smoother. Yeah, as you guys can see, it's a bit smoother, pretty subtle effect. But if you guys want to play around with this, you guys can add a bunch more to this. Like, for example, if I were to add, let's say, directional blur to this. Let me just search. Sorry, guys, the recording just cut. I literally just ran out of storage. I don't even know how that's possible. But anyways, we were going to add directional blur to this. So I'm going to finish searching that up. And I'm going to drag it on. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. And now with directional blur, what we're going to do is on every single flashing keyframe, we're going to add a bunch of blur to this. So we're going to go all the way to the beginning. So we already have kind of a blur going on here, so we don't really need to add it. We're going to leave it at 0 and just keyframe that. We're going to go 1 frame ahead or maybe 2. And we're just going to increase the blur length to something like 34. And you can play with the direction as well. Try to get it kind of like angled. I think 68 it could be cool. And then we're going to go all the way here and we're just going to reset these 2 on the next frame. And then we're going to go a couple frames ahead and just crank that back up and then 1 frame back and just reset. So now we have this kind of like directional blur flash effect going on, which looks pretty sick. And if you really play with the keyframes and the values and just try to tweak the keyframes as much as possible, like smooth them out, the effect will look 10 times better. But I just did it quickly so you guys get the whole baseline of it. Like, for example, if you wanted to make it smoother, you could just like grab all of these keyframes, right click, and you could ease in, ease out, Bezier, audio Bezier. I mean, you can do all of this stuff to really improve the keyframes, or if you really want to play with the keyframes themselves, you can bring this adjustment layer into After Effects and play with the whole graph editor. But I'm not going to be doing all of that today. I was just showing you guys the baseline of this whole effect. So if you like this video, do not forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing more After Effects, Premiere Pro tutorials, and music video breakdowns.
Alright, peace out, y'all.